By first light this morning, the full extent of the damage caused by the tail of Hurricane Charley was quickly becoming apparent. The gale-force winds and heavy rain which lashed the east coast caused damage estimated to run possibly into millions of pounds. Here at Ball's Bridge, where the River Dodder burst its banks, engineers have spent the day examining the bridge for structural damage. Dozens of people had to be evacuated from nearby houses when the Dodder wall collapsed at the height of the storm last night. Nearby, the full extent of the night's drama was there for everyone to see. But it was here in Bray, County Wicklow, that suffered some of the worst flooding of the night. At one stage, it's believed that up to 1,000 people had to be evacuated from their homes. From first light this morning, civil defence workers were engaged in a big clean-up operation. This part of Bray has suffered a number of flooding disasters in the past 25 years. But perhaps the strangest coincidence is that exactly 81 years ago to the day, on the 26th of August 1905, over 2,000 people had to be evacuated from here in one of the worst disasters in the history of the town. This morning at the Super Quinn store, workers were beginning the big clean-up operation. At the height of the flooding last night, the water level reached around 5 feet in this part of the town. It was just before 8 o'clock last night when the emergency services in the town were called into action. However, it wasn't until midnight before the full extent of what was happening in the area became apparent. Heavy storm water poured into Little Bray, flooding hundreds of homes. The suddenness of the flooding trapped some residents. Others were eventually rescued, but some were trapped overnight in the upper stories of their homes. It's now just after 2:30 in the morning and we're on the outskirts of Bray on the main Dublin-Wicklow road. Behind me, a number of flow gas containers appear to have broken loose, and there's a heavy smell of gas in the air. Guards are worried that if the river rises, it could cause an explosion. When did you leave your house at tonight?
9 o'clock.
And how deep was the water when you were leaving?
About 6 inches in the house.
And what do you think it is now?
I have no idea.
Why did you leave your house?
I was around looking after the old people in the street. There's a lot of old people in the street, you know.
And have most of them stayed in their houses or have they got out, do you think?
A lot of them got out before it got really bad, you know. Some people were too afraid to leave.
And how bad is the situation down there at the moment?
Well, my house, I'm buying my house and it's destroyed, just simply destroyed.
And how deep was the water?
It was up to my chest at that time.
And how did you get out of your house?
I walked out with 2 fellas.
And how bad do you think the situation is there now?
Well, the water was all in when I was leaving in the house.
And what time did you first realise that something was wrong?
About 9 o'clock.
And it took for 3 hours before you could get out?
Well, it didn't because I thought I'd be able to stay on, that it wouldn't get that bad, you know.
And do you think many of your neighbours left as well?
Oh, they all left, yeah. That's one of my neighbours there.
So what do you think you will return to tomorrow? What situation?
I don't know.
Throughout the long night, the rescuers continued their work. However, the town was saved from an even bigger disaster because the high tide expected at 4 o'clock never materialised. But how bad was the area hit?
It was very, very bad. A lot of the Little Bray area of the town has been flooded. A lot of property has been damaged. And a lot of people are going to have a very traumatic experience putting their houses and back together again, and their businesses. A lot of businesses along here in the lower area have been damaged by this flood.
The crisis period for the area has now passed, and it looks as if the major disaster which some people were predicting throughout the night will not occur. However, for the people of Little Bray, they will be counting the cost of this night for many weeks to come.